Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've watched some of my videos before. Today we're going to be talking about all the books I read in the month of February. So this month I participated in the Sapphic Readathon, which was created and hosted by Ash and her books on Instagram. I love following her. She's super active in her stories and she always posts reading updates, which I always enjoy. She's really funny, so definitely go check out her profile. I will have it linked in the description box below. And so for this, we prioritized reading books that centered on women loving women relationships, and I enjoyed pretty much everything that I read. So for a book written by somebody from another country, I picked Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I believe she is from New Zealand and I live in the US, so that worked out. I have very mixed feelings on it. I think the writing style, if you like J. Kristoff, I think you will enjoy Gideon the Ninth. I don't know if this writing style and humor is going to be for everybody. I have sat here trying to explain what this book is about for quite a while, and to be honest with you, it's been very difficult because I struggled with this book a bit, mostly with the world building and understanding the dynamic and the relationship between Gideon and Harrow, which is the enemy sort of situation in this. Gideon and Harrow go together to this competition and both of them have to work together to succeed in order for Gideon to be free of Harrow and for Harrow to become immortal. One of the weakest parts of this book for me was the world building. I feel like I don't fully understand the world. I don't have a working knowledge of a necromancer. I understand necro, it has something to do with the dead, but it's not I don't know about necromancers, and I don't feel like this book really explained anything about them. So if you don't have a working knowledge of necromantic magic, I think there's a learning curve for this. And I don't know, I gave this book, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between 3 and 4 stars because I think the character work was enjoyable. I liked the dynamic between Gideon and Harrow, but I think that there were some issues with the world building, and then I think the plot was interesting, but because I thought the world building was weak and made me pretty confused, I think I probably missed a lot of the nuances of the plot. So take that as you will. I think it is a good book. I might end up rereading it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, honestly. I kind of want to read the next one. I kind of want to stop at Gideon. Those are my thoughts on that. The next book I read for this readathon was You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This is a young adult contemporary romance. This book focuses on Liz Leidy, who is a young black girl who wants to go to college to get into this orchestra program, and she finds out that she doesn't get the scholarship that she needs. So in order to get this money, she decides that she's going to run for prom queen, something that she doesn't want to do because if you win prom queen, you win a scholarship, and that scholarship will pay for college. And during all of this, she meets a girl named Mac, who is artistic and funny, and of course they have this adorable chemistry, and it's just a very sweet book, but it's fun and enjoyable, and I blew through it. I think it's a great read if you're looking for something light, and yeah, I thought this was a really fun read. Then I read The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. This has been marketed as a North African military fantasy, and I don't feel like that is accurate. I think this book is much more political, and so even though Terrain, one of the main characters, is a soldier, most of this book is political maneuverings. There's some fight scenes, but there's no full-scale battles and military tactics or any of that. So for me, I really enjoyed it, but I don't think if you go into this thinking it's going to be a military fantasy that you will like it, because it is much more slow-paced, much more character-focused, lots of introspection between the two main characters, Terrain and Luca. This book also dives into the dynamic of colonialism in fantasy. So Terrain was an orphan who was taken from her home as a child and then basically brainwashed to believe in the way of life by the colonizers, and then trained as a soldier and then sent back to her homeland to quell a rebellion. It's a really great concept. And then Luca is the other main character, who is a queen in waiting. Basically her uncle takes the throne, and she has come to this place, Quazale, to prove to her uncle that she is a worthy monarch. So there's this dynamic between Terrain, who is struggling with her heritage and also her friends that she's made in school, and then Luca, who wants to help the Quazale people but also wants to help herself ascend to the throne. And so I love this book. I love this book so much. I gave it 5 stars. I think it's an excellent read. I love how character focused it is. I love the politics. I love the atmosphere in the world. I just think this is a great read overall. Highly recommend. It comes out March 23rd. I've pre-ordered it. It's going on my shelf. It's a great read. Definitely pick this one up. Obviously, I like this book. This is the one I've had the most to talk about. I also reread Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I'm not going to describe this one a lot. I just love this book series so much, and it's 5 stars for me every time. I get super emotional over it. I love it. Then I buddy read A Quart of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This is one of the books in the ACOTAR series. I did not enjoy this book for a lot of reasons. I thought it was fine. Honestly, there's a lot of parts of this. I thought the smut was okay. I thought there was a little bit too much of it because a lot of the things that she was using to describe things was getting very repetitive. And I think if you have to use the terms over and over again and describe the same scene over and over again, that it just gets kind of boring. But in the beginning, I thought the smutty parts were good. And I liked the character of Nesta and Cassian and the romance there and the friendships that Nesta had. I think that there were a number of plot points that shouldn't have existed. I thought that there were some problematic scenes, a lot of issues. I don't know. I did not. We'll move on. We'll move on. Then I also buddy read The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. And Kristen Hanna is an author that I really enjoy. I loved The Great Alone. I've read The Nightingale, which I actually didn't like as much as I like The Great Alone. I still think her writing in it is beautiful, but it just wasn't, to me, they didn't reach the same standards as The Great Alone in my mind. But The Four Winds I thought was an excellent read. It takes place during the Great Depression, during the Dust Bowl, and it follows a family as they have to make their way to California because of lots of tragic events occurring in their small Texas town, and it is a sad book, per usual. Kristen Hanna knows how to take your emotions and just squeeze the life out of them. She's brutal. Like, she does all of this character work. She builds all of these, she just never lets you stop feeling things, like, no matter what. And this book, for sure, to me, like, it is not a happy read in any way. Like, things just keep happening, the hits just keep coming, and it just feels never ending, like sadness. So if you want a happy ending kind of book, this ain't it. This is not happy at all. Then I read These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a young adult fantasy retelling of Romeo and Juliet and takes place in 1920s Shanghai. I really enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I flew through it. I thought it was a super easy read, pretty fast paced. I liked the horrific sort of fantasy element to it. I liked that it pulls from a lot of history, so like the politics and the gangs and stuff that are in the city, while aren't all truly gangs in the city, the political climate and a lot of the things that are happening were historic to that era of Shanghai, so I really liked that she did that. And then I also liked the dynamic between the characters of Roma and Juliet. I really liked their dynamic. I liked their background and stuff. Overall, I really liked this book. I enjoyed the way that it was told, just a few different perspectives, but not too many to keep track of. And then the only thing that kept me from giving it 5 stars was the ending. I didn't really enjoy the ending. I thought it was kind of underwhelming, and some punches I thought were pulled. But overall, I thought it was a great read. I'm definitely going to continue with the next book that comes out, I believe in September, maybe? November? Sometime in the fall. I also read The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan. I cannot believe I read this in February. It feels like I read this forever ago. And I liked it. I thought it was an enjoyable read. It wasn't my favorite of the Wheel of Time. It wasn't my least favorite. Dragon Reborn is my favorite of them so far, and I'm not going to spoil anything. I'll just say I thought it was a good read. It's 4 stars. I also read, read so many books. I also read Take a Hint, Danny Brown, and Act Your Age, Eve Brown, both by Talia Hibbert, both in the Brown Sisters series. These are adult romances that I absolutely adore. These are fluffy, lovey, great reads, romantic comedy in a book, but better, because these are adult women that are having real relationships, have real problems, like, and it's not, doesn't feel like a forced comedy in it. It just seems so effortless, and Talia Hibbert's humor just hits perfectly for me. I just think it's so cute and sweet. It's a great balance of humor and romance and character development and smut, and it's just, I love them. Eve Brown, I think, is my favorite. That one takes place at a B&B, and the love interest is this autistic, grumpy, like, cinnamon roll, and I just loved it. I just loved it. I thought it was so cute. And then I listened to an arc of The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon. I think this book had a lot of potential. I think it reads more like a thriller with a little bit of supernatural sort of thrown in, and the elements that I thought were really creepy. The build-up to the climactic scene, I think, was good, but then I thought the final moments were really rushed. And then the ending just sort of happened, and there wasn't a whole lot of explanation, and I wanted so much more from this. Basically, with this book, there are these like healing waters that if you drink of it, you will heal and you'll stay young and healthy, but there's always going to be this consequence, and you have to pay the price of the magic, and there's a lot of consequences, and people, you know, warn people to stay away from it, the pool, and they just can't stay away, and there's this whole mystery surrounding it, and I don't know, it was really good, like, but also kind of a letdown as well. I just wanted more from it. I wish there was more supernatural, more creepy moments. I wanted to be scared, or at least feel like on edge, and I never felt like this. It just kind of read like a thriller with like little tiny bits of like magic, I guess. So it's an okay read. Not bad. I also read Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. Angie Thomas wrote The Hate U Give, and this book takes place before the events of that and follow the main character Star's dad, Maverick, as he grows up in Garden Heights, and follows him along his path, and you learn about a lot of the things that you kind of get information about in the book, like, you know, with Seven and with his wife and all of the things that happen in The Hate U Give. You get that information and his point of view, and I really like this book. It was a super quick read. I think it's 8 hours on audio, and I really enjoy Angie Thomas's writing. It feels like someone is telling you a story, like, physically. It just seems really easy to read and like casual, while at the same time not feeling like juvenile. The writing is still elevated. I just really enjoy it. I think that if you haven't read her works, you definitely should check them out, because I just think they're so worthwhile. They're such easy, good reads. I think she has a great grasp of character development, because I feel so connected to her characters when I read them, and yeah, it's just a very good book. 5 stars. Alright guys, well that is it. That's all the books I read in the month of February. What was your favorite read of the month? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you'd be so kind. Hit the notification bell if you would like to be notified when I post. And stay tuned, because there'll be more to come.